what's the banger on this album? What's the banger on the Valley, man?
The banger on the Valley, I think, is something else. It's got everything I love about it. It's got the country roots. It's got a little kind of a hip hop feel, a little bit of an R&B feel, but the chorus has a ton of energy to me. It still gives me the fulfillment of my songwriting whilst giving the energy of a banger. So, yeah, I think the banger is something else, no doubt.
Dope, dude. What's one standalone moment off the EP The Valley?
Sure. Standalone moment on the EP would probably be Slow Motions for me. I think that, man, that song just feels like you want the windows down, cruising the PCH, just chilling, and it gives you, it's just something that, if it's just a vibe, it feels like it's everything that I wanted the project to feel like. It feels like screen door country to me, and I still get all those modern aspects that I love. So for me, that would be the one, Slow Motions.
Nice. Do you think like if you were just given like one piece of the EP, like maybe a piece of a song, a chorus or something, would that be your pick? Like you take a piece of that song and be like, this is most
Yeah.
representative of it?
Yeah, if someone asked me what the whole project sounded like, I would, and I could only play them 10 seconds of a song, I would play them the chorus of Slow Motions for sure, because it still has those country elements, a lot of like country instrumentation, but with these big flowy vocal melodies that makes you feel like it's an R&B song.
And what song like for you like highlights your writing style and delivering hooks?
Yeah, a song that would highlight my writing style would be Hate to Be That Guy. I love bookended hooks. I think I do it a lot where I'll take the same lyrics from the hook and put them in the front of the chorus, but by the time you hear it at the end of the chorus, it means something different than it did in the first time you heard it in the chorus, right? So, I think Hate to Be That Guy is really descriptive of my writing style, and I hope people like it as much as I do.
I'm sure they will. Why does the Valley end with Needed Me?
Why does the Valley end with Needed Me? I can't tell you yet, but I would say that for me, it feels a little bit like a bonus. The first 5 songs are all songs that I wrote. I wrote those 5 songs in 5 days in LA, and for me, the whole vibe of the project is it's cohesive, right? The first song sounds like the fifth song. The second song sounds like the fourth song, just in regards to the cohesiveness of it. So for me, I've always loved Needed Me by Rihanna. Always loved it. I've played it on acoustic guitar 1,000 times, right? It's something that's always stuck out to me. So you never know how often you're going to get to do a project full of songs that have an LA inspiration, right? And especially in country. So for me, it was my opportunity to do something fun, to do something with a song that I loved, and give it my take, put my brand on it, and hope that people enjoy it, because honestly, I was just having fun with it.
I feel like accidentally or not, I feel like putting a song like that kind of cover in there, especially at the end, kind of like bookends, like use the term bookends in a different way, but like kind of ties it together and like references like the way you're infusing the hip hop in the music, and then you have a hip hop cover that kind of
Sure.
like
Yeah.
points back to the infusion of the sound, right?
Yeah. Something that I think that my producer Brian does really well is keeps everything very authentic and true to me, with the way that I like to structure songs and with the production that I like. But also, he also knows that I'm so in love with country music, and I always have been. So he makes sure to give me, even on a cover of a pop song, he makes sure to give me enough country instrumentation that it fills that void for me that would be there if it didn't, right? So for me, that's what it sounds like if no one had ever heard that song ever before, and I was just the artist that had cut it originally. That's how that song would sound like. I absolutely love the way that Rihanna did it, it would my cover would sound nothing like that if she hadn't. I think I did it in a way that allows me to be free and creative, but also hopefully does her justice and pays homage to her because she's an incredible artist, and every now and again we get to have a little fun here in country, and that song is that for me.
I love it. I think it's like a really well chosen, well executed cover that like rides that line. I think it.
Thanks,
I think
man.
it sounds like really good for you,
Thank you, brother.
and like grabs so far out into that space that you're tapping into, but like grabs source material from it, like references what you're doing with your music from like an actual song from that genre that like
Hmm.
means something to you that you like. Like I think it works really well. I feel like you obviously like enjoy the song. You can like
Oh
feel
yeah,
that like you have like a good attachment. Like it's a good song for you.
like you said earlier, you gotta have no fear, right? Like sometimes it can be a little nerve wracking covering a song like that in country music, but I love it so much that I don't care if no one ever listened to it. I loved doing it, so hopefully everyone loves it.
Sure it will. It's like, what do you hope listeners will experience through listening to The Valley?
When people listen to this EP, I hope people experience, honestly, I hope they are engulfed in the vibe, right? I think that we paid close attention to how cohesive this EP is, and I want it to be something that when you're cruising on a back road by yourself with the windows down and it's 81 degrees outside and the sun's going down, I want you to play this record from top to bottom, no skips, and just let it take you where it takes you. And I hope that it reminds you of a certain time and place in your life and gives you imagery in your mind that maybe you wouldn't have experienced otherwise, or brings back some great memories. And yeah, I really feel like this project is truly about the vibe. I think it is what you let it be, and I hope that everyone lets it be exactly what it should be for them.
I feel like it's cool you have this idea of the way like a specific idea of the way people listen to like your album.
Sure, man. Honestly, I think whether they talk about it or not, I think most artists would say that they have a preferred way in which you would listen to records. Honestly, it's why a lot of people don't do albums anymore because we're in such a singles driven world where real artists, true artists that have something to say, I think really care about like a 12-song album, and the concept of the album and the journey that it takes you on from track number 1 to track number 12. But now we almost don't have the attention span for that, or people think that we don't. And I refuse to believe that. I think people do. And I think even if people didn't, it's still important for artists to get something cohesive that they love out of them. It's something that I feel like I have to do. Um, and I think part of being an artist is taking you on an artistic journey, right? Like the way that I view my art is if I compared it to painting, I want to, if I could put all of my paintings in a gallery and people could walk in and see them one day, I hope that there's 5 different rooms and each room feels differently with different pieces of art, but each room, the art within them goes together, right? But I hope if you're in a good mood, you can walk in one room. If you're in a bad mood, you can walk in another room. If you just need some help today, you can walk in another room. And that's really, really important to me. And honestly, to me, that's me doing something because I feel like I have to, not just what this genre wants out of me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. Like, do you ever feel like doing this, like what you do with your art, your expression, and like in this space, does it ever feel like therapeutic in a way?
Yes, 100%. I think every single person talks about things in their music that they wouldn't talk about in conversation, right? It's just for whatever reason, it's a way of talking about things that maybe you just wouldn't normally talk about. And I know that sounds like I would want to talk about negative things. It's not really that. I think maybe you talk about memories or experiences that you just don't talk about in real life, or even just pieces of memories or pieces of experience, and you're able to formulate a whole song around those. So for me, whenever I write songs, like all of the songs on the Valley, for me, I'm taking a really, really specific time and place in my mind. It might be yesterday, it might be 10 years ago, and trying to paint my emotions with a song, So for me, I hope you feel exactly how I was feeling that day whenever you listen to it, whether it's good, bad. Uh, yeah, I hope you feel what I was feeling.
Yeah, it's like music is such a interesting thing. It's like so uniquely human, and it's like talking about like the expression of it, and it's got to feel like it would have to feel so different, especially for someone who like does that, like that's their expression, versus like writing an essay about like the same material, but something personal, like just like putting it in an essay, right?
Yeah.
And maybe like some like a writer might feel like that's the way they do it, but
Hmm.
there's something interesting about like music, like you're kind of describing. It almost sounds like you're describing it's like an avenue to put it out and to be vulnerable, but it's like a safer way almost. It almost
Yeah,
feels
you
like a
get.
safer way to put it out.
Yeah, I think maybe the reason that is because people can feel like artists feel like they can, in a human way, artists feel like they can detach themselves from the art, right? Like if I know I reference painting a lot, but if you're a painter and you paint something that's so dark and feels so negative and feels maybe it just looks violent, you know what I mean? But you're standing next to it and it's a beautiful 75-degree sunny day out and you ain't got a problem in the world. That painting still feels the way that it feels, even though it's on the other side of the room. And yes, even though you're the one that painted it, you don't have to be that right now, right? So it's almost like a way of letting go things that you're feeling, even positive things, right? It's a way of letting those things out without having them really influence you as a person 100% of the time. You almost are able to detach yourself from it and let people see a standalone moment in your life or what you were feeling or what you were going through without it having to make up who you are, right? Like, I can't speak for him, but maybe Jelly Roll does that a lot, right? I think that guy's got a lot to say. And I think that he's able to, he might talk about some of his worst days in his music, but if you've ever met Jelly, he's the nicest, brightest face in the world, So you're allowing people to get to know you through these standalone pieces and kind of setting them free.
Dude, yeah, well said. Let's get this last one, and then we're done with this whole list. It's just the reintroduce yourself.
Yeah.
My name's Rotundo.
My name's Rotundo, and this is the Valley.
Just give it like two more times,
Yeah.
just like they got some.
Yeah. What's up, y'all? My name's Rotundo, and this is the Valley.
One more, you're crushing it.
Okay, cool. What's up, y'all? This is Rotundo. I can't even say my name right. Rotundo, Rotundo, Rotundo. You ready for this? All right, let's do it. What's up, y'all? This is Rotundo, and I'm a dumbass. You ready? You sure? All right. What's up, y'all? I'm Rotundo, and this is the Valley.
Sick, dude. I think it's good.